Greetings. Today the conversation is about family and family healing, lineage healing, ancestral healing, and all of that topic that is a big, big topic. It's fascinating for me to do this sacred work, which is to support people to heal and bring healing, not just to their own lives, but to the lives of their ancestors and future generations, which is even more important because it's the stopping of a trauma moving forth generation after generation and stopping with the person, not moving forth into the future generations. It's huge. And the most beautiful aspect of this is the understanding of how important this work is and why. So let's dive right in. From a very physical, biological explanation, women are born with all of the eggs already in their body. So when a woman ovulates in her life, she begins releasing these eggs that are already in her body. She doesn't create the eggs as a man creates the sperm. The sperm is something that is being created as the man lives. Instead, the eggs are being born with the woman. So think about this for a moment. That means that the egg that made you was born already inside the body of your mom. But what is wilder is to think that the egg that was the one that created your mom, the original egg, was already in your grandma's set of eggs. So this tells you that when your grandma, who you didn't think you had any particular genetic connection, was going through trauma during Second World War, like many of ours were, mine was, the egg for who became your mom was already there, being imprinted energetically with the trauma that your grandma was living and experiencing. So then your mom is being born, and this body that chooses that egg is already imprinted with that trauma. And now your egg is imprinted with that trauma, plus whatever happens in your mom's life. So you will carry the trauma from your mom, not only from the 9 months in which you were in the womb, which you will, and we'll speak about that, but rather from your whole life, your whole mom's life before you were born, because you were an egg inside her body receiving information like all cells do of every single experience your mom had. So then you're born. And now you carry this information that pertains to your grandma's physical life and your mom's life even before you were even conceived. And this is a resonance in your cells that's in there. It's part of the information that you carry. So let's backtrack for a moment about how does the incarnation of the soul happen in a body. So you're part of the divine, and there's so many things happening on the other side of the veil in the realm of the souls. And one of the things that happens when you are invited in or decide to come to Earth is that you get together with your Council of 12, which is a group of beings of love and light that help you in designing what are the lessons you're coming to learn on the incarnation you're planning into coming to. And then you come in as a soul at the moment in which the spark of life is formed, when the sperm hits the ovum and the first spark of life is happened. It is beautiful that now scientists have been able to grasp this photo of that instant in which the spark of life happens. And in that moment, your soul comes into this union, and you begin experiencing inside the womb this incarnation. And the beginning 6 weeks, as this embryo is being formed, you're actually feeling as if you're still in the cosmos. You're not quite sure where you are. You're still a little bit in between here and there. You are very much in an expansive state and not really connecting much with the new vessel, which is this womb and this physical body that's carrying you. And then as the embryo becomes a fetus and it becomes more like a baby, and it begins growing, then you really begin to feel what is happening in that environment. So the amniotic liquid could be sweet and like a nectar, or it could be very acid and very bad for you if your mom is under drug influences or smokes a lot or doesn't eat enough or is very bitter and depressed. Or so whatever is happening with the mother will create a completely different environment, even physical, for the baby growing inside. And add to that the additional level, which is the level of the emotions that the baby is going to tune into, the emotions of either joy because the mother is pregnant, she's truly joyful and connecting with the baby, or emotions of grief or whatever is going on with the mother. So by the time birth comes, you already have received the imprinting of your grandmother, of your mother, and of the 9 months in the womb. So you know you're born and you already are not even close to the pure and beautiful soul that you came, because you have all these things already on you. And thus starts the journey of life on earth, where you will experience traumas, like I've mentioned in my prior video about experiencing trauma in during childhood. So if you haven't watched that, I do recommend you watch it, because there's a thorough explanation about how that goes along. And as you become an adult and you live your life, you are repeating the traumas that were created through the life experiences that were uniquely yours, but also the ones that come from the trauma of your mother and of your grandmother, because you literally carry that trauma in your cells. And that's why the releasing of the trauma from the cells and from the memories of the cells is such a powerful healing. And that's why also the healing of the lineage wounding is so powerful. And you can do that. We now are so lucky to be living on this time on earth where the ascension is happening, when there's energetics all around us that are supporting these quantum healing methods, through which we don't need years and years delving into our trauma to alchemically transform and quantum leap into a state of being that is wholesome and fulfilling and allows us to live our soulful purpose. This doesn't mean that there is a magic pill out there. So many people believe that, and so many fake gurus say, stay with me and I will solve all your problems. This doesn't mean that there is nothing you have to do. It won't be okay for you to just go to a course and receive some blissful activations and then think that that's done. No, you have to do the work. You have to delve deep. You have to use the portal of your heart to bring healing to that aspect of you that experienced the trauma. You have to put the work and the effort and move through it. It's a beautiful, empowering, loving, expansive journey. And it can be very messy and it can be uniquely varied And there's many of us offering different alternative solutions and techniques for you to work through this trauma or this type of trauma. And I'm blessed with being able to do this work in a technique that I utilize that I call a shamanic constellation. There is plenty of information on my website about it. And if you're curious, we can connect and you can ask me your questions. And it's a very powerful technique by which we bring healing to your whole family lineage and therefore to yourself as well. And as that happens, you feel the relief, you feel freer, you feel finally able to move on with your life. Oftentimes you will have felt stuck before you actually went into this beautiful healing work of healing the lineage or the family tree or the ancestral lineage. And sometimes we also heal the ancestral land. It's a very beautiful sacred work. And you're not aware of why you're stuck in your life, what's happening in your life, because you've done a lot of work, you've done a lot of healing for yourself, yet you're still there experiencing these very traumatic, repetitive relationships or experiences of life. And when that happens is because there is this ancestral load that you're carrying that is both imprinted in your cells and also at the level of the soul. We said at the beginning today that when the soul decides to come to earth and you make your plan, your soul plan with your council of 12, you also make an agreement with the lineage, with your soul lineage, saying, okay, I'm going to take it upon me to finally stop this for our lineage. For example, a big one is that this abuse, sexual abuse, is ingrained in humanity. 1 every 2 women experience sexual abuse. 1 every 3 men experience sexual abuse. That is huge, okay? And there are lineages where when you look back, and in those cases in which the stories are told, because there's a lot of secrets carried in the families that are also very damaging, you finally figure out that your great grandma was abused and your grandma was abused and your mom was abused and you were abused and then your daughter is abused, and is a cycle that won't end. And it won't end because it's an imprinting, energetically attracting exactly that. And it is through this work that you can modify the energetic imprinting. I'm not saying I'm the only one that does this work. I'm saying this type of work. And yes, I do this work and it's beautiful. And there's lots of testimonials on my website that you can go read and find out more. www.theawakenpath.com, and the links are also below. But the point is that you literally and figuratively operate at the level of the soul, the energy, and the physical, and you close this cycle of pain that would have kept moving forward to the children of your children and the children of the children of your children. It is super powerful how this works, and we are so blessed to have this type of possibility on this time on earth, this sacred possibility to quantum alchemically leap into an aspect that was so painful before, and that we can bring healing for us, for the past generations, and for the future generations. This is a topic that is dear to my heart, and I'd love to hear from you. Please subscribe to this channel. Lots of love and light and blessings for you and your lineage.